So don't let whatever happened in the past dictate what goes on today. And I know for many of us, it's important to change your outlook up. Um, so I think that, there are things that we have failed at earlier in life. And sometimes you can look at yourself as just a failure completely in that area. Like you have to stop thinking of yourself as a failure in so many areas. Because, say for instance, you have something that is just so hard to shake. Say you have, spoken in front of a crowd before and folded, like you just like a deer in the headlights, things didn't go right. That happens to everybody. And so if you stick on what has happened in the past and you let that dictate what you done today, you may never get up and speak in front of anybody else. You may say, look, you know what, I failed at that. I'm never trying it again. But I don't think that's the right attitude. I think that you have to understand that everybody has moments. Everybody has, situations that they have went through. And I think we can't let those things hold us down and keep us down. So you may be a person who, at one point in your life you were bad with money. You can't always say, hey, every time I get money I'm always going to be bad with it. You can learn to be better with money. You can learn to change certain behaviors. And so, do you have to put extra precautions up because you have been bad in a certain area? Yes, but you can get it done. So don't just always think that, hey, always think the worst. Like, hey, this is how I am and this is how I always be. Like, that's not true for anybody. Like, in one case, when it comes to like your skin color, like, you're not changing your skin color, you're not changing your ethnicity, you're not changing some of these other things. But when it comes to personality traits, when it comes to abilities and stuff, like, you can change those types of things. All you have to do is just work hard and change your mindset up. So say for instance, it's something that you want to do in life and you think, man, I could never do that. When you think I could never do that, that's what ends up happening. Like, you continue to convince yourself that, it's not possible for you. So you stay where you are. And I think you have to understand that you have to be able to overcome that. Like, stop looking at yourself as, somebody who can't do XYZ. Think of yourself as somebody who can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. And then once you set your mind to it, it's gonna be done. So um, yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff, and I'll share a case for me. Like, when I was younger, I used to sing, and I was singing with my cousins and them, and like, they were like tough with singing, and plus they were a lot older than I was. But I always had my doubts about singing. And I just remember one of my cousins, man, she had told me, she was like, boy, you can't sing. Daddy can't sing and stuff. And I'm just like, I think that really hit me to the point to where, like, I was already feeling it, and then with her adding it on to it, it was like, hey, like, it was negative. So even as good as I feel like, or people tell me, hey, you can sing and stuff, something that always sticks in my head is something that my cousin said, and I don't even think she even remembers. But even if she remembers or not, it is what it is. But I think we can let so much stuff affect us in a negative way. And so, um, you know, like, regardless of, you know, where you at right now, sometimes what has happened in the past can affect you in a negative way. So I think, you have to be able to turn that switch on, and you have to continue to do what it is that you want to do, regardless of the voices in your head, regardless of the outside voices from everybody else. Uh, understand, true is it that I have messed up in the past? Yes, what I'm saying, recognize that, understand that, but also recognize that everybody has failed at some point or another. And even the greatest person in whatever field it is that you are looking to do has failed, and not probably just once but multiple times. And I think the difference is getting up and continuing to push on regardless of what has happened in the past. So don't let your past dictate your present, because if you feel like, hey, I'm always messing up. I'm a failure in so many areas. Things I've always, get bad for me and stuff. Like stop thinking like that. Think of that is what happened at one point, but at this point, I'm no longer that person, and I'm changing up everything. And just pay attention to the things that are the areas that you mess up in. Sometimes it can be something that always causes you to slip up. If you can go back and analyze the reason that you failed, you have the opportunity to be able to fix it. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. And if you find it helpful to somebody, go ahead and share this video with them. Also like, subscribe, and, continue to watch for more videos because I'm doing them. But anyway, I'm Damien. And until the next video, I'm out. Peace.